Refrigerator, guardian of life or deadly trap. It was 3 hours and 17 minutes past midnight when someone walked down to the kitchen. Intense thirst had awakened this person from deep sleep. Bare feet touched the cold floor while walking through total darkness. The house was wrapped in absolute and heavy silence. Only the constant and monotonous hum of the refrigerator cut through that disturbing nocturnal quietude. The door was opened slowly, carefully. A white, cold, and artificial light illuminated the still sleepy and confused face. Inside there, squeezed between leftovers from the previous meal and fruits completely forgotten in the corner, hid an invisible and silent killer. An absolutely common, banal item present daily in most American homes. You will discover which item is officially classified as Group 1 carcinogenic by the world's highest authority. You will also learn how to protect your family from 7 deadly dangers hidden in your refrigerator. Scientific studies conducted with more than 500,000 people prove absolutely alarming data. This product can increase the risk of intestinal cancer by up to 18%, and Americans consume 47% beyond the limit considered safe by experts. There is something inside that appliance that may be destroying your health silently. Every day that passes, millions of families consume this product without any suspicion. But the complete and shocking answer will only come at the end of this revealing journey, when luxury was just managing to survive. Imagine for a moment a world completely without functioning refrigerators. Exactly 150 years ago, preserving fresh food seemed absolutely impossible for humanity. Napoleon Bonaparte, with all his immense accumulated imperial power, died without ever knowing a refrigerating machine. Christopher Columbus sailed entire completely unknown oceans without even imagining a magical device that would keep food fresh. Daily survival was a constant and terrifying challenge for our ancestors. Preserving meat was considered a true essential survival art. Giant mountains of salt were used daily. Meat hung in the scorching sun to completely dehydrate. Huge dehydrated pieces on improvised clotheslines. Constant and terrifying risk of fatal food poisoning for entire families. In the United States of America, extremely wealthy and affluent families paid truly unimaginable fortunes, all for a luxury considered absolutely absurd in that distant era. Giant blocks of ice were manually cut from completely frozen rivers during winters, transported with enormous difficulty to keep food fresh for just a few miserable days. The cruel irony of this situation was devastating for everyone. This ice melted quickly under normal room temperature. It inevitably mixed with animal blood and organic remains in accelerated decomposition. It created a truly absolutely repugnant and dangerous bacterial soup. It left absolutely everything with a horrible and unpalatable taste for anyone. In 1876, an inventor named Carl von Linde created something revolutionary. The first functional mechanical refrigerator was developed in Germany with advanced technology. It cost the exact equivalent of the price of a complete and luxurious residence. Only millionaires could even dream of owning this extraordinary equipment. Today, our reality is completely different and marvelous. A simple pressed button produces instant ice in seconds. The door opens smoothly and reveals fresh food weeks after purchase. A true technological miracle that our ancestors would give absolutely everything to have. But maximum attention now. This same technological marvel that saved millions of lives may be destroying your health. When misused due to lack of knowledge, it transforms into silent and deadly poison. And what you are about to discover will completely change your habits. Stay until the end because you will be absolutely amazed with each revelation. I guarantee you will change many habits starting today, and you will distribute this information to many dear people around you. Potato. When innocent starch becomes chemical poison. The potato is bought by the pounds in any common American supermarket. It is the solid base of countless meals consumed daily by millions. Many people, in pure innocence, store this tuber in the refrigerator. They believe this will significantly prolong its durability and freshness. However, this apparently harmless and logical habit activates something terrible. A true silent factory of toxic and dangerous chemical substances. Acrylamide begins to form inside your food. You need to understand now why the refrigerator becomes the villain in this story. Below 46 degrees Fahrenheit, the cold temperature forces profound chemical transformation. The natural and healthy starch of the potato converts into extremely dangerous reducing sugars. When you fry, use an air fryer or grill these refrigerated potatoes. Something happens. Above 250 degrees Fahrenheit, these sugars react chemically. Acrylamide is then born, classified as a probable carcinogenic agent for humans. Just placing potatoes in the refrigerator for 3 miserable days enormously multiplies the danger. Toxic levels increase more than 6 times the original value. The American Regulatory Agency itself and international organizations emphatically recommend never store raw potatoes in refrigerators. Store your potatoes in a cool, dark, and well-ventilated place always. Always above 50 degrees Fahrenheit for maximum safety. This period adjustment can mean an absolutely enormous difference for your personal health and for the health of your entire family. But it does no good to protect your family from dangerous acrylamide if you commit another error. Due to pure daily practicality, the next item is equally devastating. Open cans. When metal migrates directly into your food. This is a habit that practically everyone has without exception. You probably commit this error at this exact moment in your refrigerator now. Opened canned foods stored directly in the original can itself represent real chemical risk. You know, that leftover golden corn, green peas, or even tuna. Leaving the open can in the refrigerator is a gross and extremely dangerous error. An open can, generally completely coated with industrial tin, reacts with atmospheric oxygen. It also reacts intensely with natural acids present in stored foods. This constant chemical reaction makes small metallic particles migrate directly into the food. This can completely alter the original flavor of the food. You know that unpleasant metallic taste you sometimes notice? But the main problem goes far beyond simple altered taste. It is deep chemical contamination by heavy metals and toxic substances. Beyond the constant migration of metals into the food, many cans still contain something worse. Special internal coatings with chemical substances like bisphenol A, known as BPA. Even in apparently small and harmless quantities, these substances act as serious hormonal disruptors. They cause a huge series of long-term health problems. They drastically reduce your natural testosterone levels. And then, you cannot understand why certain things no longer work properly. The golden rule is hyper-simple and easy to follow. As soon as you open any metal can, immediately transfer all the content to a smooth glass container, a certified silicone container. That is completely free of BPA and other harmful chemical substances. Keep very well sealed before taking to the refrigerator. But look carefully. If contamination by metals already scared you significantly, wait a bit. Discover how the next item transforms apparently safe foods into a bacterial bomb. And worst of all, the danger exponentially doubles each day. Old leftovers, bacterial time bomb. Waiting to explode. You know that pot of white rice from 2 days ago? Or that large pot of beans you completely forgot in the refrigerator? It stayed there for a few more days than it should have stayed. Well, that is exactly what represents unexpected danger. Old food leftovers can be an absolutely unexpected source of serious problems. You automatically think it is in the refrigerator, so it is completely safe. And unfortunately, it is not quite as it seems to be. Because time is absolutely cruel with cooked and stored foods. White rice and beans, for example, very common, are perfect. For the accelerated proliferation of an extremely treacherous bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It does not worsen absolutely anything of the taste of the stored food. You do not notice any visible or olfactory difference in the foods, but when you eat this contaminated food, it releases powerful toxins. They can cause intense and violent vomiting, extremely severe food poisoning. And the risk is not small at all here. The chance of you having serious problems completely doubles after 5 days. That is, prepared leftovers and foods, especially those containing starch or protein, are dangerous. They should be consumed thus at most 3 to 4 days after preparation. You pass that, throw absolutely everything away without hesitating even 1 second. It is much better to prevent than to get extremely sick later. But the danger is not only in the time that food stays stored. Also, where exactly the food is stored inside the refrigerator counts enormously. Eggs on the door. Salmonella proliferating in unstable temperature. An error that many people commit daily without knowing. That apparently perfect place to store fresh eggs in the refrigerator. I am talking specifically about the refrigerator door that opens and closes. The overwhelming majority of modern refrigerators already come with a beautifully designed compartment, made to perfect measure to accommodate purchased eggs. But this is ironically one of the worst possible places for them. The door is the region of the refrigerator that suffers the greatest fluctuations, and most frequent abrupt temperature variations too. Each time you quickly open and close to get something. This constant temperature variation is absolute paradise for accelerated proliferation of the dangerous Salmonella bacterium. Serious scientific studies show something absolutely alarming and worrying. Storing eggs on the door can increase the real risk of Salmonella contamination by up to 25%. And do not absolutely underestimate this danger in any way. Sanitary authorities alert to more than 10,000 documented cases of salmonellosis per year only in the United States of America, with symptoms ranging from intense, severe abdominal pain and diarrhea to much more serious cases with real death risk, especially in weakened elderly and vulnerable small children. The solution is extremely simple and within your reach. Store eggs on the middle or top shelf of the refrigerator in the original packaging or completely closed container, where the temperature remains more stable and constantly cold. This apparently insignificant small change makes an enormous difference for your food safety and that of the entire family. Now we finally arrive at the top 3 of today's ranking. Item number 3 is an error you commit precisely when you think you are doing it right. Painted glass. When the safe container becomes dangerous. Using glass to store food seems like the safest possible thing, but it is the detail that absolutely nobody sees that may be releasing something. Heavy metals directly into your homemade tomato sauce. Acidic sauces like tomato or lemon sauce improperly stored are dangerous. In glass jars with labels enameled or painted directly. It seems absolutely unbelievable, does it not? Glass is completely chemically inert. It is considered the absolute best option to store food safely. But the trap is hidden in something you do not even casually notice. That beautiful and colorful design. The decorative label printed directly on the glass. Many glass jars, especially those that originally come with industrialized foods, and that we subsequently reuse at home to store other things, have colorful labels, artistic drawings, enameled measurements and painted directly on the external surface of the glass. And that is where the hidden danger lies. These colorful and decorative enamels often contain heavy metals, like lead, cadmium, and other extremely dangerous chemical elements. When you store acidic foods in these inadequate jars, something happens, like homemade tomato sauce, lemon juice, vinaigrette, ceviche, or any sauce with strong vinegar in these painted jars. The acid from the food reacts chemically with the decorative enamel. This constant chemical reaction causes the lead to migrate, and other toxic metals exit the glass into your food that will be consumed. Lead is an extremely dangerous heavy metal that progressively accumulates in your body over the years. It can cause completely irreversible and permanent neurological damage, serious developmental problems in small children, severe anemia, several other serious and debilitating diseases. You thought you were protecting your family by using glass, but without knowing absolutely anything, you used glass that had lead. Therefore, today you need to take a careful look at your glass containers stored at home, if you are going to reuse glass jars to store foods, especially acidic ones that react. Make sure this glass is completely smooth, transparent, without absolutely any type of decorative enamel, colorful paint or label printed directly on the material. And if using ceramic, let it be a certified ceramic, enameled specifically for safe food use. Processed meat, practicality that kills you slowly. Now we return to that silent killer mentioned at the beginning, the one that the greatest authority on cancer research in the entire world placed in the same category as cigarettes. It is in your refrigerator right now, disguised as practicality. Sausage, sliced ham, smoked sausage, crispy bacon, Italian salami. These items that seem so practical and tasty. In your breakfast, quick lunch, afternoon snack. They are true silent traps against your health. The scientific studies are absolutely overwhelming and definitive. More than 500,000 people participated in research. Like the UK Biobank and the NIAID study confirmed data that consumption of processed meat can increase by 18%. The risk of colorectal cancer for every 50 grams consumed daily. And the most worrying of all, we Americans consume 47% more than the limit considered safe by experts. This means we are exposing ourselves to an extremely high risk, day after day, week after week, without noticing absolutely anything, of intestinal cancer, which is the second cancer that kills the most. You put it in the refrigerator, you think everything is perfectly fine, but you are storing a deadly enemy disguised as food. What to do immediately? Drastically reduce the consumption of processed meat now. Prefer fresh meats, carefully prepared at home. It is not easy to change consolidated habits, I know perfectly well. But your health and your family's health is worth every effort invested. Think seriously about this the next time you go shopping. Styrofoam tray, the poison you freeze daily. Now the final moment has arrived. This will shock you deeply, I guarantee. Food number 1, the absolute top of our list, and the danger I will reveal now is present. In your refrigerator, or more specifically in your freezer. It is the meat tray you bought at the supermarket. This one I am absolutely certain you did not imagine. It was in my freezer until recently too. Exactly there lives a silent and deadly poison. That white styrofoam that is underneath the meat. It is made of polystyrene that contains a substance called styrene, classified as carcinogenic group 2B. That is, possibly carcinogenic for humans according to agencies. But the big problem is not just having styrofoam. It is what happens when the meat stays there, especially frozen for prolonged time. Recent studies by agencies like the FDA, 2014, show something absolutely shocking. Residual styrene gradually migrates to fatty foods, like red meat with detectable levels, significantly increasing with prolonged storage time. It does not stay still, waiting quietly. It exits the styrofoam and infiltrates into the meat you will consume. Research in scientific journals like Food Additives and Contaminants reveal data that cumulative exposure via plastic packaging contributes to the presence of styrene traces in the blood in general populations, indicating silent, constant contamination, and very frequent among millions. Styrene is a silent thief. It exits the styrofoam, crosses the meat, and goes directly to your plate. Besides, you are eating small particles of plastic without even imagining, and worse when you are in a hurry and need to quickly defrost the ground meat. The frozen steak, you place the tray in the microwave with PVC film on top and turn it on at maximum power. This error releases 2 poisons. At the same time, the styrene from the tray and the phthalates from the PVC film, which are powerful hormonal disruptors. The solution is simple and within your reach now. Before freezing your meat, remove it from the styrofoam tray immediately. Transfer to a glass container, without anything painted, please, or a certified silicone container. This action drastically minimizes the risk of chemical migration. Share this alert with your family. And now the main loop closes. Remember that silent killer mentioned at the beginning? The one hidden among dinner leftovers and forgotten fruits at the corner? Now you know exactly who it is. It is in the styrofoam under your frozen meat. It is in the breakfast ham. It is in the eggs stored on the door. Your enemy was never the refrigerator. It was the lack of knowledge about how to use it. Knowledge is the only weapon. Now you possess this power. Share this video with people you love. Subscribe to the channel for more life-saving information.